Action.
Action.
All right, Tess, go quickly.
Action is his reward.
Hi, everyone. I'm Phil,
I'm Tommy.
and we have the lovely Tess behind the camera as always.
I tried so hard to come up with something.
Yeah, it was.
I'm
She
sorry.
froze. She panicked. She panicked under pressure. Hey, Rachel. Yeah,
Well, hello.
It was too much panicking
It
under
was too
pressure.
much. I couldn't handle it.
We tried to turn the show over to Tess. It fell apart,
Yep. Failure.
and then we move on.
But I will say this week's show, way better than last week's show.
100%.
Where we were both deathly
Really?
ill and could not show up.
There may be people who disagree. That this
Fair,
week's show is
fair.
better.
I apologize now. I will probably cough a lot during this show. Do my best.
I've already died and resuscitated, so I'm fine.
Yep. No, I'm still in the process of dying, so it's fine.
I tested negative for COVID for 3 days in a row. So
Same. Mine is all like my chest is like my lungs are like, haha, you fool. Why would you even have us?
you don't need lungs.
Yeah.
I heard people donate them. Usually it's in their sleep without their knowledge, but
Well,
donation is.
I would also like to visit Mexico.
But at least you're getting a nice ice bath.
God.
See, yes.
I'm saying it's just how it goes. Well, we were back from our long adventure in Pittsburgh, where it did snow.
It did.
We did get stuck in the elevator.
It was, I'll be honest, it was the wildest thing. I don't remember which morning it was, but Philip was like, I'm going to go outside. And I was like, I'll come with you. And we go outside, and he's just like, the open air. And I was like, dude, it's snowing. And he's just like,
Sure. I don't
all
care.
right. And I was like, I'm going back inside. And he was just like, "Ah."
At the hotel was awful this time. Like last year wasn't so bad, but like it's like their ventilation system just quit.
Mm.
Kind of like their elevators. And the same two guys literally took care of us all weekend. They were
the
there.
same two guys from last year.
Yeah.
Really?
They were there.
Yeah.
Like they set up the breakfast bar, they set up the lunch bar, and then they were there like at midnight when there was drinks being served.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Those two dudes worked nonstop.
yeah, and I'm like, so I'm assuming you sleep? Like I have no idea. But
Yeah.
and they would just laugh when you would brought it up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'm
they were
like-
super nice. Like the best dudes ever. Yeah, they were awesome.
That's so cool.
So, yeah, I don't understand. It's like that was insane. But we're back. We're back here. Tommy's still sick.
I am in
Tess
fact
isn't
still
sick
sick.
yet.
I'm not sick yet.
Gregory's sick.
Gregory is sick. I don't know how he got sick. I barely saw him last week. I stayed home sick most of last week
I'm not gonna
because
say Gregory's sick. Gregory says he's not sick.
Yeah.
Gregory
He
says
did
it's
say
just
he's
his
not sick.
sinuses.
yeah, that's what he said this morning. But then I heard him coughing, and I was like, "Bruh,
Huh, he says
No.
he's not sick. He was adamant.
sure."
He yelled at Tess.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? Let's be honest.
I have not yelled at Tess.
I mean, me neither. Let's be-
I know better.
Tess, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you.
I'm too pretty to be yelled at. Jeez.
That's fair. Not yelling at anybody.
Mm-mm.
Them dupes,
No.
them dupes.
I
All right.
tried.
Want to talk about some books?
Let's talk about some books.
And then we'll talk about some Comics Pro. And then we'll talk about some podcast. We'll try to
Casting
get all this
pods?
in. Yeah,
Casting
we'll
pods.
try to get all this through today. And then y'all can ask questions about anything. We'll have an answer or we'll make it up like I normally do. That's what I
Improv.
tell people at work. Hey, I have a question. I'll make something.
Mhm.
It generally works.
Hmm.
So next, we haven't even started. So first,
Foist.
Waste.
we're going to talk about Void Rivals number 7,
These rivals have been voided.
which is the kickoff of the second arc. That's why we're talking about a number 7.
Yeah,
Kick
they introduce a new character, and the what's been going on with the two main characters continues in a way as like, oh, okay, let's see what happens. There's a little bit of the Judge Dredd movie, not the good one, but the bad one, where they get sent off into the wasteland.
And they introduced RoboCop.
They do. Yeah. There's a lot happening in this book.
I mean, not the trademarked RoboCop. I'm just the
Yeah.
premise of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
RoboCop.
Like sometimes people are like, I'm a person, but also a cyborg.
Which is really weird.
Yeah.
But
And-
it's really pretty art.
It is so pretty. Yeah.
And it's still standing on its own. It's part of the Energon universe, but it's actually really good. So basically, the two main characters now are trying to save everyone, even though they don't want to be saved.
They're like, I don't really care for you, but
They
we're
do
going to
hate-
wander out into the wilderness together.
They do hate each other. It's pretty funny. It's imagine what would happen if, like, Jacqueline and I went on some game show adventure, right? Like, we would hate each other by the end of it. Like, we get through it and save everyone, but
Yes, that's right. Void Rivals is Philip doing Squid Games. That is the book. If you've ever wondered what it would look like if Philip did Squid Games, here you go.
like, things could go horribly wrong. But
I'm dying. I apologize.
next up is Creeper number 1 or Shazam number 9. You take your
Shazam.
pick.
Shazam.
And this is Mark Wade's last issue on the book. And I guess the issue 8 was Dan Moore's last issue because we have a different artist on this one.
And I will say the art's not bad.
No, the art
Like it's not Dan Mora because
No.
nothing is.
Yeah.
And the book is super fun. And
It's a creeper.
I'll be honest, like I am a little bit concerned about the next issue of Shazam because I really read this for the creative team.
Right.
And they sucked me in, and it's so good.
And I don't know who the next creative team is.
But show the ad. The ad for the next issue of Shazam
I don't want to show the last
has
page
me
of-
so excited. It looks like more of the same nonsense, and I am here for it, and I'm so excited. This issue has some of the best Metamorpho related stuff I've seen in a while.
Yeah, he shows up a couple of times.
Yeah, it's really fun. If you have ever been like, this guy who pretends to be a journalist is really a jerk, I want to make fun of him, this is that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all hate the creeper.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
I dislike the creeper.
I've never really read much Creeper other than being like, oh, why is he like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, Shazam continues to be super fun.
Shazam.
I really hope the next issue continues to be this level of fun. I want to keep reading Shazam, but I have a feeling it may not be.
Marvel.
We'll see.
The captain. It's the captain.
Burps.
Next is Birds of Prey number 7. And also, this is the beginning of the next story arc. And look, hey, 3 of the Birds of Prey on the cover. So this is the new team plus Barda.
Yeah.
So we don't know who the rest of the team
All right, for
is.
those of you who are undecided, if you want to read Birds of Prey, if you are, I don't even know how. Everybody ends up in the lingerie at the end of the episode. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
They do, actually.
Yeah.
Black Canary was not happy.
People are like, Barda, you're 9 feet tall. This is going to go over great. And she's like, of course it is. I'm Barda. And Canary's like, I'm uncomfortable. And Barda's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, Canary was not happy in this one. But
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it goes with the story of the book. It's not thrown in there just to be thrown in.
Yeah, it makes sense. It
It's-
makes perfect sense for what
it's-
they're doing.
Because they
This issue, Vixen becomes one of the birds, and she has a fashion line.
She basically is no longer. She hasn't been Vixen in a while.
No.
The only Vixen stuff that we actually have now is the young adult stuff
Okay.
that comes from that.
I've been
Like,
out of the loop with Vixen, I guess.
So Vixen is pretty much, she's kind of gotten out of the superhero game because she was a part of the last Birds of Prey.
Right. I remember
stuff.
that.
So
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
kind of gotten out of the superhero game and decided to run her multi-million-dollar industry.
Okay.
So, but it's actually setting up pretty good. If you read, I'm just going to tell you, if you read the last series, because we're now a month into that, the reason that Barbara wasn't in it is because the whole point of that mission was if Barbara would have gone, she would have not have survived.
Yeah.
So we have parts of this that's time travel, and then now they're trying to figure out why.
Yeah.
All that's going to happen. So, and Cassie ends up still being Cassandra. I'll say the full name because can be confused with other Cassies.
Yeah, it's too many Cassies.
Yeah, it's a lot of Cassies. So Cassandra is still one of my favorite non-speaking characters.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Hey, Megan.
Well, hello.
Tess says hello because it's Tess.
Hello. There you go.
And this week we have the Spectacular Spider-Man #1.
This was almost my pick of the week.
So if you have
very close,
if you've ever wanted to see Miles and Peter together full time all the time, here you go.
It's like two dudes hanging out, and it's so much fun. Like literally the premise of this book is that Peter and Miles are like, we should hang out as friends. Not like Spider-Man, not like superhero shenanigans. We should just go get coffee and hang out. And Miles is like, yeah, we should do that. And of course, it doesn't work out because there's spider people.
Right. And this is kind of coming out of the gang war in Amazing Spider-Man, where Miles is still a little miffed at Peter for disappearing for 6 months.
Yeah.
Which goes back all the way to the beginning of this current amazing run. So they've got things to work out. So they're going to kind of hang out together because Miles is definitely aged up now.
Yes.
He's not the Miles from the Ultimate Universe. He is
it's like 16-ish, I think.
I think he's older than that now. The way they've aged, I believe that they've aged him a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Because think about it. Miss Marvel now had a job at Oscorp.
Right.
So I think they're now like at 21, 22-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we keep de-aging Peter every year. So. But if you want to get on the ground floor of any of the new Spider books, this is it.
It's so much fun.
And Ramos is doing the art.
Yeah.
So.
It is literally just a fun Spider-Man book with two different Spider-Men being hilarious together.
Hilarity ensues.
Indeed. The Last Merm.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and say this is Gregory's pick of the week.
It is Gregory's pick of the week.
It's only Gregory's pick of the week because the title is called The Last Mermaid.
I will say this is a weirdly sized book. It's square. It's beautiful. It is a
comic size.
It's there's not a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of words. It very much relies on the art to tell the story, and it does a good job of that.
Oh, it's adorable!
And there's an axolotl, and they're so freaking cute. I ran across this during FOC a month or so ago, and I was like, Gregory, have you seen this? And he was like, no, what are you talking about? And so like we looked at some promo art of it, and he was like, I need it.
Oh, since Brian wants me to show the art, forget it.
So we both looked at the art and stuff, and we're like, oh, this looks really good. So
we find you a good page, Brian.
It's one of those things where like this is a book that traditionally I would have ordered like one of maybe. And because of the art, I ordered a bunch, and I'm hoping this doesn't backfire on me. The book's beautiful. It's really well told. And like I said, there's not a lot of words. It's it relies heavily on the art to tell the story, which I'm a big fan of. Like, I'm a huge Darwin Cook fan. And a lot of his books rely heavily on the art to tell the story.
I need to die because Brian said he farts in my general direction, so I need to roll to see if it hits me or you. we're gonna start doing D&D rolls now for some of these.
Well, funny story.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Okay,
We haven't gotten there yet.
I was like, I can go grab some dice real quick.
Some characters age kind of correctly in comics for what they are, but then they try to, like with Peter, once again, when they broke up, every time they put Peter and Mary Jane back together,
Yeah,
they age them correctly.
yeah.
And as soon as they split them up, we're like, oh, Peter's 28 again. It was like, and Mary Jane's stuck with a guy and kids. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So that's kind of,
You know, like you do.
I guess Batman is probably the most current. Like Batman now is basically consistently in his early 40s.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's only because of where they put Nightwing.
You mean the best character in DC?
Well, yeah. All right. Anyway, so I wasn't going to pick this up just because I was going to probably wait for the trade, but it's square.
It is a weird size,
It is
but
square.
it's so pretty.
And I love weird size books. I am a huge fan
Yeah.
of anything that's a weird size.
Speaking of weird size.
Speaking of weird and sizes. Anyway, we now have The Last Ronin 2 Revolution #1.
Or re-evolution, depending on how you pronounce words.
Oh, I didn't even pay attention to it.
Yeah,
I just
I'm
thought
not
it was
sure.
revolution.
I honestly don't know which way is
Yeah,
the
it's
proper way.
re-evolution. Sorry, it's He-Man that's Revolution.
He-Man.
So basically, they're finally starting. You get a rehash, but they're finally going to start picking up with the new Turtles from The Last Ronin.
Mhm.
We already had a mini series of them kind of growing up a little bit. Now we're going to get them to where they're grown after their training. So we get new Turtles.
The new Turtles are all cool, like 2 girls, 2 boys, which is, you know, going to make some people mad because reasons, I guess. But they do a really good job of giving us a flashback that gives us a brief synopsis of the history of the Turtles. I will say one of the things that kind of threw me a little bit is that there's a lot of 2-page spreads in this book. And you got to pay attention to the panels and the way that they spread across, or you can get lost pretty easily, which I did a couple times.
So it'd be work well for me then,
Yeah.
because I pay attention to the art a lot.
Yeah, I tried to, but this one, like, there were 2 different pages that threw me a little bit.
And this is so basically April and Casey's daughter is now kind of going with his mantle of hero.
Yeah, Grandma April, awesome.
Yes, Grandma April is awesome.
Ryan asks if it's as serious as the Last Ronin book.
It's trying, yeah, it's still carrying over those themes. I mean, you don't have the whole Michelangelo story
Right.
that you have in here. It's so your Turtles that was there at the end of that series. They did another mini series of where they grew up, but this is them now, the new Turtles trying to take back the city with Grandma April and Casey.
And there's like a lot of
So you have Grandma April.
yeah, Grandma April is awesome. There's a lot of logistical things happening in the city that April is trying to fix from like behind the scenes, where like the people in charge aren't really paying that much attention to.
Right. Just like everything else, you can defeat the bad guy, but it doesn't fix the problem overnight.
Right. You got to fix the like logistics of having a society, or it doesn't work out.
And like I said, so this is probably 2 years since the end of the other Last Ronin, I think.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
So basically you had, like I said, the other little 2-issue thing or something. And then now this is going to be another 5, I think. Isn't that what it said? Does it say? I can't remember.
And one of the
think
things
it's
about
5.
this is that it's the same size as Last Ronin. which is the same size as the original Turtle books.
Right.
So if you're an old school Turtle fan, this is going to check all your boxes.
Right. So the mutation came in the first series. So they go into all the mutation stuff of the new Turtles like at the end, and then in that little mini series.
Mhm.
So because if you think about it, the whole river and everything around Manhattan and stuff is all just messed up.
Mm.
Like everyone can mutate at any time.
I'm mutated right now.
That's a different mutation.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I apologize.
So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also looking forward to Jason Aaron's reboot of the
Me
original
too.
Turtles. So
Mm.
I can't wait for that. Now we're going to do Tessa's pick of the week.
That I haven't read.
It's irrelevant.
It's okay.
I would lay money. I would put a good amount of money on that. Tessa's going to love this book so much she's going to talk about it for weeks.
Yep.
You see?
So we are forcing her to pick
Not
the
forced.
baker and the bard. Yeah, just say it. Just go with it.
Okay. Okay.
It
yeah.
is.
Don't act like we're nice. Just
It
keep
is-
going with it.
It is so cute. I read it earlier today.
We're gonna have young adult graphic novel time.
Yeah.
The art is super pretty.
So for me, I read a lot of comics. I probably don't read as much as I do young adult and all age books. And so I've already read this, which can be shocking for everyone here. That
It's
I've actually read
really,
stuff this week.
really good.
But it is a very simple relationship book. And they go on adventures, they see fae, they have to deal with townsfolk, giant butterflies.
There's giant caterpillars that
Giant
turn into giant
caterpillars.
butterflies, and
Yeah.
they're so cute.
mystical creatures.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Also,
It's a lot of
baking.
good. And it deals with and
There's a
actually
recipe. There's a recipe at the end.
and I'm gonna have to make the recipe
Yeah,
because it
I would-
deals with ricotta, cheese, and mushrooms.
I would really like you to show up here one day
Like
with that recipe.
Jacqueline
because
is
I
not gonna
want
do
it.
this.
I
but
want
she,
it real bad.
Yeah, she hates mushrooms, but this has got ricotta cheese, mushrooms, sharp cheddar, and a pie dough.
Now the version of this in the book glows.
Yeah, well, this
So
isn't
can
gonna
you make it glow?
Nah, probably
No?
not. Well, I can break open a glow stick and dump
Put
it
it
in.
yeah.
I'm not going to eat it at that point, but like you
It
can.
just has like a drizzle on top.
yeah, sure. Anyway, the book is phenomenal. It's really, really good. I liked it quite a lot.
So, what do you want added to your box, Megan? The Turtles book or this?
I like turtles.
Sorry, our feed can be slow
Yeah.
at times, so we don't know the difference.
Also, we can be slow at times.
Shh.
Ooh,
Okay,
we're doing our best.
you don't need to see this one. do you?
No.
We need to put that in Megan's box.
Okay.
Yay!
And
No.
then
My pick of the
Tommy's
week.
pick of the week is Tables Titans Club.
Oh my god, this book was so adorable. It's middle school kids. We've got a new student, a young lady who is moving to the school for the first time. Oh yeah. And for a limited time, for anyone who comes in and buys a copy of this book, you will get a dice bag filled with dice. Because one of the main plot of the story is that these kids are in a role-playing game club and they play Dungeons and Dragons.
I got my copy.
God, it's so adorable. And like it's not just like a bunch of nerds playing D&D. Like the main character also accidentally joins a wrestling team because she's awesome.
Wrestling team.
Yeah.
Wrestling team challenge.
God. I loved this book so much.
Yeah. So this is middle grade.
It is, yes.
Yeah. This one's middle grade.
Yeah.
I think that one's young adult.
That one is young adult. This one's middle
I
grade.
think. This one's middle grade.
Although I will say
It might
this
be middle
book,
grade too.
This book is probably young adult, but middle grade could enjoy it just as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking that is middle grade. I'm thinking I'm
Yeah.
getting confused with the book I read last night.
Anyway,
Mm.
this is adorable.
So what happens
That
when
is
you read a bunch
adorable
of stuff?
I get it.
in a different way. They're both fantastic. I highly recommend both of them. I will say the Baker and the Bard, there are multiple instances of they let the art tell the story. Where you get 4 or 5 pages of just beautiful art with no words. Where Table Titans Club, these are kids in middle school, so they're talkative. Like they talk a lot, and you sort of need the dialogue to move the plot forward. So they're very different books, but I do feel like they're aimed at the same age range.
Yeah,
I loved them both.
Yeah, Table Titans Club can probably go. It's middle grade, but it can probably go close to all ages.
Yeah.
The other one that probably is middle grade.
Yeah. The Baker and the Bard has a character who is non-binary, and like you catch that very early on, and then they make it more explicit about middle of the book, where she's talking to the Fae, and the Fae are like, what is gender? We don't know what that is. So there's some real world stuff going on there.
So next we'll talk about some other things. First we're going to talk about, hey, we have these new free Marvel must-haves. And like the title says, it's free. It's on this side, free, because my camera's backwards, so I got to remember. Have to remember. It's free, so while supplies last. They have put together the first issue of Spider-Man Deadpool in here, the first issue of Miss Marvel, the New Mutant, #1, and Immortal Thor, #2, which is storylines. And we have a handful of them because I can't count that far away, and I wasn't here when they opened them up. But starting tomorrow, these will be on the counter to the left of our register from our point of view, right on your point of view.
Yes.
But as it says, they're absolutely free. So go pick up one if you want to read about Deadpool, Spider-Man, or the new Miss Marvel with her mutant powers, or the new Immortal Thor. Did you notice I found the trade for Spider-Man Deadpool?
I did see that. That's very nice. Yes.
We had a lot of people look at it on Saturday and go, "Ooh, that's cool," and none of them bought it. I was really hoping that somebody would buy it.
Well,
it will last. It won't last. It'll gone. Yeah, I know. Next, we have some variants from. Well, first we're going to talk about this book.
A ghost.
We're going to talk about Space Ghost, and this is in the new previews that just came out. This comes out in May. It actually says May 1st, 2024. So technically, this should be out by Free Comic Book Day. What I don't know if people have been paying attention to Dynamite, and you haven't looked at this new previews, have you?
Not yet. I haven't had time.
So most people will remember Dynamite from Red Sonja and
Vampirella?
Pantha and Vampirella and it's like 007 and a bunch of stuff like that. Well, over the last year, they have transformed into Lilo and Stitch, the Gargoyles, and a whole bunch of stuff.
Thundercats.
And if you get the new previews and you notice when you get to the Dynamite section, it is all of that. And then you turn the page and it goes, we also sell these books, Red Sonja. So they are really focusing on their books, these licensed products. And this Space Ghost is basically designed to be a badass Space Ghost. This isn't the Hanna-Barbera Space Ghost. This isn't Space Ghost Coast to Coast. The preview book here that we have, and we'll have it here at the store for people to look at. There's no words, and they say that they're going to add words to it, and I feel that words are going to ruin the first 6 pages. It is just...
He told this to the guy that owns Dynamite.
Yeah, it is. I did. They're going to ruin it by adding words because basically you have the twins whose planet's getting attacked by these evil pirate guys. And then all of a sudden this shadowy figure shows up behind them and basically just there.
Yeah.
It is. He saves a couple of kids and a monkey.
I do love monkeys.
Yeah. So, yep. So it is It's not going to be your standard Space Ghost. So if you get a chance, ask. We'll have this at the counter for you to take a look at. If you ever thought of being a Space Ghost fan, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm probably overly excited. I shouldn't be that excited for a Space Ghost.
I will say at Comics Pro, we talked to his name's Vince Laterio. He's the guy in charge of Dynamite. And we talked about some future properties they're going to be doing that I cannot express how excited I am.
But you can't talk about it.
Yeah, we can't talk about it, but I am so hyped for what they've got coming.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, we're doing this and this and this," and he was like, "Wait a minute, I should have told you that."
Yeah, they have. Dynamite has about 5 new licenses that at least 2 of them I care a lot about.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
I mean,
one of them involves Chemical X. I'll just throw that out there.
the views expressed on this program is not those of Richmond Comics or affiliation of said person.
Or as Logan used to call it when he was little, Chemical X.
So, but there's a handful of stuff.
Yeah, it's super
that's
exciting.
coming.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've been doing a lot of Disney stuff, Gargoyle stuff. They've kind of worked with XR.
Yeah.
They have some XR license.
Yeah.
Without the P. Anyway, Dynamite's doing some cool stuff.
They're Dynamite.
Like I said, it's like I like the stuff they're doing, but 2 of them I really care a lot about.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, just from Comics Pro stuff, just some variant covers. If you need a variant cover for Last Ronin 2 re-evolution, but you can't see the re-evolution because there's a turtle in the way.
Evolution.
So we've got some of these. We have Ultimate Spider-Man Comics Pro number 2. That's a ridiculous amount of money.
Stupid amount of money. Yeah.
But we have them, but we're not, well, we're still selling them for us a stupid amount of money.
We're
but
selling
not
them for half of what they're going for on eBay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So take that as you will. We have some shiny Thunder Kittens. Shiny. And we have a shiny
Rob Liefeld.
Liefeld. The Lefold.
Panthro's like, I got this huge forehead.
What about your chest? So anyway, so there's all kind of stuff. So you can come get your free Marvel must-have. See a preview of Space Ghost. Still no.
Yeah, still no feet.
Yeah, still no feet.
No
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, see, still no feet. Yeah, there's absolutely. See, he has absolutely no feet. He doesn't know how to do a panel when Captain America was never the same. No, he was not. He was not. But Bill, I will tell you that there was a Comics Pro version of Lilo and Stitch. It's a nice shiny book. It is in your box. Just so you know.
You got one and Phoebe got one. So yeah.
An A, he was not. He was at least a double D. Captain America?
Bro, no. A cup? No. He might have been an cup, but not an A cup. No. No.
Yeah. That's a lot.
No.
And I'll show the box.
Oh, yeah. We got new art boxes. We got those in today from BCW.
We got new cloth. Cloth art. We got them in.
Show this in. Yeah, we did.
So we got new cloth art boxes. Sorry, there's books still in here that I haven't gone through.
Yeah, we got these in today from BCW. They are $16.99.
Waka waka.
Oh my god.
They are awesome. We are both big fans of these.
Yeah.
Sorry,
they're
really cool.
There's still books that I need to go through.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff from Comics Pro.
Gone variants. I haven't done anything with those yet.
Got Gone, Blasphemous. We got preview books for Feral, Uncanny Valley, which Man's Best, which I'm super hyped for. The
We got
Power Rangers.
special edition Power Ranger books because I got to meet Amy Jo.
Yep. We got some
Got to get
variants.
Amy Jo to sign my book.
We got some variants for Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of cool stuff.
And just so everyone knows, I stuck to my guns. I walked over to where Amy Jo Johnson was. There was literally no one at her table.
By the time I got there was a huge crowd, and I was like, I'm not waiting. in
So
that
I'm not
crowd.
sure why there wasn't a large line, but there wasn't. So I'm like, you know what? I'm getting my signature.
Yep.
And she actually even seemed happy to be there. We know she wasn't.
You know who was?
Actually, she was. She was very nice.
Jeff Johns seemed
Holy crap.
unbelievably excited to be there.
Yes.
Like,
So he is
yeah.
basically the head of Ghost Machine.
Yep.
And he was there and he was selling Ghost Machine, which honestly for me, he didn't really have to sell it that hard because I'd already been reading Geiger and Junkyard Joe since it came out. And I thought it was great. And then everything he has planned. I mean, and come on, he promised he was going to send me a hat. So
yeah, he did. He was like, let me get your address. I'll send you a hat. Because Philip was like, bro, can I get one of those hats? And he was like, give me your address. I'll send you one.
So
Yeah.
and they picked yellow. They said DC had blue, Marvel has red. We're going with yellow.
Yep. And dude is just like, he was super chill and like really
And Jack, he was really jacked.
He was really jacked, but he appreciated our feedback and like really wanted to talk to us about the industry, not just his comics, but like the comic book industry as a whole, which I appreciated.
Yeah, he was
like-
excited. He's excited about the whole Ghost Machine thing, and
Yeah.
and so are we. I will be going to GalaxyCon probably on the Friday. Once again, me and crowds, and Friday is usually the least amount of crowds because it opens at 2, and so I can be there at 2 on a Friday, and the crowds aren't as big. So I will be there. I think Gregory will be there on Saturday.
Yes, Gregory and Cody, who
Will
really
be-
matters,
Well, that's true.
will be there on Saturday. So if this Saturday, if you're interested, let me hold please.
Comics Pro Ghost Machine book. So I'm going to tell why he's looking up stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't keep many things, but I did keep this book that they brought for Ghost Machine because it's called the what do they call it? Sorry, it's called the Ghost Machine Ghost Edition. It's got their paper like from the comics in the 70s and 80s, and it's all black and white. So it's the same thing that came out a few weeks ago, but this is the variant that they gave us there. So this will end up being on the rack at some point. Tommy and I haven't actually seen each other since last weekend from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we came over from Pittsburgh and we both got sick. And Philip was fine after a couple days. I'm still dealing with it because of who I am as a person. So this Saturday, for those of you who care about indie comics or crazy artists who are local, Saturday, starting at noon, we'll be at the Basic City Beer Company on 212 West 6th Street in Richmond. We're having a little indie Comic-Con.
Put on by Skelly.
Yeah, Christine Skelly or Skelly Bobelli, depending on how you follow her on the social medias.
On the socials.
She invited us, and the mascot for this particular event is a
beer?
No,
Okay.
no. It is a. Oh my god, words have escaped me. I don't remember. It's not a raccoon. What is it?
I have no idea. You don't
A
want to bother
possum.
it up.
It's a possum. The mascot for this event is a possum.
Oh, an opossum.
An opossum. And my brain just quit and turned back on. So you're welcome.
Reboot.
Anyway, I first met Skelly some number of years ago down in Norfolk at Noise. And this is the Richmond version of that. We're doing it at a brewery in Richmond. We've got a bunch of local artists.
Man, there's a bunch of people there too.
Yeah,
There's
it's a
whole bunch of
lot.
people.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I was looking at her like it's like they've done this for the last few years, and this year there's like 40 or 50% more artists and vendors than there were in the past. So like this should be a really fun show.
It's Saturday, Rachel. It's this Saturday.
Yeah, it's this Saturday. I am so hyped for it. It starts at noon, and I think it goes to like 5 or 6. I'll be there all day. Philip and Jacqueline will be there at some point in the morning.
Yeah. It
Early in the
opens
day.
at noon, so we'll probably be there from like 12 to 1-ish.
Yeah, I'll be there all day. I'm very excited about it. I'm super hype on it.
Tess will be back where the kegs are. So.
We
I'll
can't
be
keep her
kidding.
off the
Yeah.
kegs. It's problematic.
She,
I'm not invited.
Yeah. She just wants to hug them. I don't drink, but I love hugging them.
They're so cold and it
So
feels so
cold.
good. I get it. I understand. Anyway, if you're around on Saturday, you should come out. We're
Ryan
good.
asks if it's an annual thing.
It is.
It is.
It is. This is the 5th one, I think, that we've done in Richmond. I think it's the 5th one. I have to check with Skelly. I don't remember.
Yeah, you know who'll know. Scale.
Yeah, Skelly will know. We can ask her the day of. We can get together, and I will help you find her. And we can be like, "Yo, how many years you been doing this?"
At least one.
Yeah, at least this year. I'm very excited to be there. I love doing shows like this where it's a bunch of local independent artists who like maybe I've never heard of. Like that's like the first year I went down to Noise. It was me and a couple friends, and I met Christine for the first time, and I bought a bunch of her stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most amazing stuff I've ever seen." And now she comes here sometimes for Free Comic Book Day, which that's a good feeling, man. When you meet an artist and you're like, "I really love your stuff," and they're like, "Hey, you want to come out and then do a thing in my store?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's do that thing." It's good times.
Yep. So I'll be hanging out for a while, but then we have book club here on Saturday at 4.
Yeah.
So if you can't make that show,
Which I will miss because I'll be out there running our table. But I will say the biography / autobiography that Danny Trejo does is amazing. I'm listening to it on audiobook right now. I'm about halfway through it. Oh my God. He has lived the craziest life. Anyway.
yep. But if you want to come talk book club here, we'll be here at 4:00 on Saturday. And we don't pick a specific book anymore. You just actually come and talk about a book that you're currently reading. And then you try to talk other people into reading that book, or we can have conversations if there's questions.
And if you're
it's a lot of fun,
if you're
actually.
not reading a current book, come out anyway
and make up something.
Listen to all the books that you could be reading and be like, "Yo, I'm in. Let's read more books." Like that's really what our book club is about. Read more
Yay,
books. Yeah,
Yay,
100%.
Phew, that's a lot. We got a lot going on this week.
Should read this.
I'll
It's
get
so
to it.
cute.
I'll get to it by this weekend. I have that other book to read first.
Oh yes, that other
It's,
book.
I can't remember. It's a Faith Aaron Hicks book that came out this week.
Okay, I know what
So,
you're talking about. Yeah.
That's my next one.
Gotcha.
And then there's Katie Cook. Katie Cook book came out this week. Katie Cook's gonna be in Baltimore this year.
Yeah, I saw.
I keep missing Katie Cook. I need to meet Katie Cook.
So we need to go to Baltimore, is what you're saying?
I know I'll probably go to Baltimore. I didn't want to go to Baltimore this year, not because I don't like Baltimore, but I'm already doing a bunch of other stuff, and I didn't really want to go to Baltimore. But I think Babs Tarr is going to be there. Katie Cook's going to be there. There's like a handful of other people. Like crap.
Yeah, I didn't go to Baltimore last year, so I feel like I have to go this year.
So everyone that I talked to said Powhatan went great, Bill.
I was going to ask this question as well because I didn't know.
Yes, I talked to several vendors. I talked to a lot of people who showed up, and everyone had an overwhelmingly positive, glowing review of the Powhatan Comic-Con. I talked to my friend Bucky, who is my liaison to the Powhatan school system, And he said that they raise like dollar entry fees. Keep that in mind. To a high school Comic-Con, they raised $500 for their local libraries. Now, they did not charge entry fees for kids. It was just adults.
Right.
So I feel very good that a Comic-Con that I helped put together at a local high school raised $500 for their local libraries. That makes me feel incredibly good. Like I feel like I did something. And next year we're hoping to make it bigger. Like we've talked about it a little bit since then, and we are hoping that next year is anyway.
Yeah, one of my friends went, but they didn't go until like 2:30.
Okay.
And they said it was still packed.
That's awesome.
So
that is
I mean,
amazing.
there was a bunch of, but it did sound like that after they finally got through with all the cosplay stuff that it.
Well, I mean that's pretty
typical.
That's pretty
Yeah.
true of any Comic-Con. Like if the cosplay is a big part of it, once the cosplay thing is over, people tend to fall off.
So
that's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, I've heard only positive things about it from several people who set up and several people who went. So I feel really good about it.
Yeah. That's like I said, it's people I talked to said it was all positive. So that's good. We'll see. Now we'll see. Next up is Free Comic Book Day.
Yes.
So we'll talk more about that next week.
Yes.
We'll be next week we'll probably do some books, and then we'll talk about Free Comic Book Day. I'll probably give an update on a podcast that's going on and why it's late. But there's a good reason why it's late, and which would be another entertaining story for next week. So, but we'll talk to you then. Tess is telling us it is time to go by like slashing her throat at us. So we're trying to.
She stabbed me in the leg. I'm bleeding out. I gotta go.
Yeah,
So,
sorry about that.
Appreciate it, everybody. We will. Thanks for joining us, and we will be back next week. And talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was fun.